In this video, we're going to look at the data frame, which is the other fundamental data structure that we're going to use in Pandas. But first, we need to have some data to use to create a data frame. So we're going to use a file from this NFL Stadium attendance data set on Kaggle. You can log into Kaggle with a free Google account. And then you'll just go over here to the download button. This will download 3 files in a zip file. Unzip them and you'll see a file named games.csv. To get this file into the GitHub code space, simply drag it and drop it into the Explorer and it will be uploaded. And here you can see that we have data in here about NFL games, statistics about NFL games from the year 2000 through the year 2019. All right, we can close that and let's talk a little bit more about data frames. Now, a data frame is a two-dimensional data structure with rows and columns. Each of the columns is actually a Pandas series. So you can think of a data frame as a collection of Pandas series that share a common index. And you can create a data frame from hand using a dictionary, but it's much easier for now to just use a CSV file. And you can create them also from JSON and SQL and other sources as well. So I'm going to say gamesdf equals pd.read CSV, and you can see some of the other formats that you can also read. And then I want to give it the file name games.csv. Now this is interesting because notice you've been seeing that we've been getting IntelliSense a lot, but here Jupyter Notebook is actually recognizing the file names as well. So this can be very useful if you've got a lot of files. And when I hit Shift Enter, it will load the CSV file into a data frame. Now, when you have a new data frame, one of the things that you want to do is you want to explore it and get a feel of what kind of data is in there. So I could do gamesdf.head. Now this is going to return the first n rows of the data frame, where by default n is equal to 5, or if I could pass any number here n, and this would give me the first 10 rows. And notice that we're getting some formatting here for the data frame. So the column names are bold, and we're getting this zebra striping, and we're getting the alignment of the columns. There's more that you can do with this, but for right now, this will be sufficient. Now there's also a corresponding tail function. So I can say gamesdf.tail. That will return the last n rows of the data frame, by default 5. I can also access the different columns using the index operator. So I could say gamesdf, and if I want to get the winner column, and notice that it's giving me IntelliSense for the names of the columns as well. Now, as mentioned before, the columns are actually series, so this will return a series. I can go even further with this. I could pass a list of columns instead. So I could say something like away, or rather, let's start off with this home team name and away team name. In this case, you don't get your IntelliSense. And this will get just the home team name and the away team name columns. Notice that this is a data frame now, because series can only be one-dimensional. But I could also do something else. It'll not only just select the columns themselves, I can also place them in a different order. So lots that you can do here. If I want to access a specific row, there are 2 ways I can do that. And for this data frame, they're actually going to be very similar, because the index is the same as, because it's using the default index rather. But the first way I could do this is I could say gamesdf.loc. Then the index operator, I can use that to index into to get a row at a specific index. In this case, I could say the index 1, and it's going to return that row as a series where the column headers become the index. So here I could say winner again, and it'll give me the name of the team that won that week or won that game. There's also another way that I can do this, which is iloc. That is the positional index. So you're always going to have that numeric index, or have access to it no matter what the index actually is. In this case, they just happen to be the same. But again, we'll see a multi-index here later on. In the previous video, we saw the date index. There are also a couple of other methods that you can use to summarize your data frame. So let's see, let's say gamesdf.describe. This is going to return some statistics about the numerical columns in the data frame. So the count, the average, standard deviation, the minimum, maximum, and the quartiles. Again, this is only for the numeric values. If you want to see a summary of all of the columns, you can say gamesdf.info. This is going to tell us information about each column, how many non-null values we have, the data types, and so on. So that's a good introduction to the Pandas data frame, and in the next video we'll start to see more information about it.